Welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2006 here in TEW 2020 as we're at the Go Home Show for WCW Sacrifice, at least for Nitro. Revolution's doing its own thing. Honestly, a little bit of booking note is, as I was booking the show, I realized I did 3 6-man tags on the same show, as I say previews for pay-per-view matches. So this is a very go home show as far as matches go. But I think the actual booking's pretty good. It's some weirdness going on. Anyway, it gets going. We're live from Fort Wayne, Indiana, in front of 13,000 people. And the show starts out with Eddy Guerrero's music hitting, and he getting a big amount of boos, even though there's some cheers because this is 2006 Eddy Guerrero, so he's still going to get some cheers no matter what. And he comes down to the ring as, he grabs the mic and says, "Brother Ray, Holmes, I know you're back there listening. A couple weeks back on Nitro, you got one over Mesias in that street fight. I admit that. You beat me as we fought all over Ohio. But deep down, we both know you still feel disrespected, and you still hear those people saying that you never really took me down, that you got lucky that we fought all over the arena beforehand, and everything else. You think WCW and these fans don't truly give you the recognition you deserve. And you know what, Brother Ray? I want respect to SA. I'm tired of being seen as a man who came in here and is now past his prime. A man who won the world title, but is no longer deserving of another shot. I'm one of the best damn wrestlers in the business still. So if you really want to prove yourself, if you want to show you're more than just a survivor of the streets, then let's up the ante at Sacrifice. Because as far as I'm concerned, we're tied 1-1. So, here's what I want in Chicago at Sacrifice. No count out. No DQ. Falls count anywhere. And if you can't get up after a count of 10, the match is over. Let's call it, let's say, a Chicago death match. So what do you say? Are you man enough to accept? And after a moment, out comes Brother Ray. And he says, Eddie, you want to talk about respect? You get your damn respect. You get lots of cheers even though you're supposed to be a bad guy. You get people praising you as one of the best wrestlers in the world even when you lose. You get hailed as somebody younger wrestlers think of when they talk about the career they want to have. So if you want to talk respect, you want to talk about proving ourselves, fine, you're on. Because you see, Eddie, you're stepping into my world again. I fought on the streets, I've battled in the ring, and I've described everything this business has thrown at me. And after I kick your ass at Sacrifice and take you down for a 10 count, all over Chicago, after I leave you lying there, unable to get up, everyone, the fans, locker room, WC management, they'll have no choice to respect me as a main eventer. I'll prove I'm more than just a street survivor. I'm one of the top guys in this business. Now he fires back. Holmes, be careful what you list for. Because I've been in matches like this before. I fought and scratched my way to the top just like you, and I'm afraid to go to extreme lengths to keep what I want. So grow family values means at Sacrifice, we'll see just how far you're willing to go. Because I know how far I'm willing to go. And when it's all said and done, we'll see who truly deserves respect. And there's a stare down, and there we go. So officially set up for Sacrifice is Brother Ray versus Eddy Guerrero one more time. And there we go. And yeah, if you look at their match history, you'll see the reason why I'm continually doing their matches. And I guess they've had like 2 matches, but really like one clean match. We're just sort of throwing out this match. Anyway. So fun stuff. Brother Ray, pre-booked, and there we go. And then we move on to our opening match of the evening, set up last week. By his win in his debut, Draogo gets a chance at the Cruiserweight title, taking on Maverick Chance. And in about 7 minutes, a little under 8 minutes, this is pure high spots, but Maverick Chance gets the win over Draogo in 8 minutes. Like, Draogo plays like sort of the, undersized heel going after Chance, but Chance hits a few big moves, hits a finisher, and eventually gets pinfall victory over Draogo to defend the Cruiserweight title, as this gets a 48. Draogo is only a 31. So, honest, I was going to book this out as an actual feud, but the problem was, Drago did not do his, I thought he was a little bit more over outside of the Southeast. I thought maybe he could pull off something resembling a feud, but this is called me pulling an audible, having the match here on Nitro, and we're moving on. Chance doesn't get a pay-per-view, appearance, but it is what it is. But I figured out another angle for him, which will hopefully, start up with the next series, with the next, set of shows. I think it's a 48. Chance goes 65, so he's doing well. But he also sustained a chest injury, so maybe he took a bump on the railing a little too hard. Post-match, Chance celebrates. This gets a 49. And yeah, good news is that means his injury isn't that bad because I didn't have to rebook it. And then we cut backstage. Oh shit, I forgot to change. Okay, well, let's pretend Lashley and Claudio are also off camera. I just forgot to put him down as off camera. Not the end of the world. Anyways, the next are in the roost at the top of the arena. As Raven says, the clock is ticking to destruction. Every day it gets closer. Ric Flair, you want to talk about the supposed manipulative, dangerous, scary man you faced before? I'm nothing like that. Because you see, they were playing a character. They were painting their face, screaming gibberish, using the fact that the wrestling audience isn't that well educated to scare them. But I'm not saying any lies. I'm not selling you any mistruths. I'm telling you the hard, honest truth. At Sacrifice, I and the Prophet are going to destroy your young men in the middle of that ring. It will show Ric Flair, your time is done, and there will be no evolution. There will be destruction, mayhem, and conflagration. Quote the Raven, nevermore. So one more cell job, as this gets 68. And then we have an in-ring promo. It's basically, Penny Grable starts up, as just put over her match against Celine Cartier at Sacrifice. Talking about she's the face of tradition and honor and clean. God, I'm forgetting the word here. Wholesome wrestling. And it's just sad that these fans out there do not want to see that. They don't want to see a bunch of louts, whores, and other misfits. And then she's interrupted by ODB coming down to the ring, drinking a bottle of something. Hopefully not really a bottle of alcohol, but what can you say? And she says, she's sick and tired of Penny Grable putting down these other women on the roster. So if she wants to fight, she's ready to fight. And Grable sort of sneers as Celine Cartier is at ringside, and the match is on as it gets a 52. And the actual match itself gets a 57. Just a quick little fight, nothing too fancy here. I think Penny's a little more over because this used to be this is the Great Lakes, so this is where the where WWE had their developmental. Anyway, back and forth match. ODB gets a little bit of a fight in, but eventually Grable roll through, hits the gender roll, which is again the Doug Williams Chaos Theory, the rolling first cradle into a German suplex, and gets the pinfall victory here on Nitro, basically clean. She does a little bit of cheating, but not too much. As gets a 57, ODB gets a 53, Penny Grable gets a 67. That number will probably be going down on the next show once we're out of the Mid Great Lakes. And post match, Grable is continuing the beatdown, but Cartier runs in, and the fight is on. As Cartier hits a big lariat on Grable. Grable rolls out, and there's a stare down as the just put over. Celine Cartier doesn't want to be a stepping stone for Penny Grable, the supposed traditional newcomer here in WCW. 68, good stuff. And then we cut backstage for a goofy little angle as we see Tracy Roberts with her brother Reckless Roberts. She's talking to Tank Toland. She explains that they can make a mutual beneficial deal where I get what I want and you get what you want. And there's some some over basically the idea is Reckless Roberts will team with them tonight in a 6-man, and she gets Tank the supposed 60-man WCW, and Reckless is sort of trying not to think about it, and Titus is just I'm not being paid by this guy, but Bischoff is still making me wrestle, It's sort of a goofy, but also setting up that there's a 6-man later tonight of Paul London, Ken Anderson, and The Truth taking on Tomko, Toland, and Reckless Roberts. 58, not the worst thing, not the best thing ever. And then we have our backstage segment as, Alex Wright is with Kaz, Yang, and Stacy Keibler. Stacy Keibler, tells Wright that her men, the Ninkyo, will back him up tonight. and they will be an axis of power taking on Styles and AMW, and they will, put Layway and cause chaos and destruction 6 days before Sacrifice. And Wright says, that's fine, but he's Das Wunderbar, and he will stand alone tonight. He'll wrestle with them, but they're not allies. They're not friends. Because he is on his own, a man on an island, and the future WCW World Champion. 97, good stuff. I mean, Stacey Good was real good. Wright is really good. And there we go. And then we have our 6-woman preview of the big steel cage match between Lizzie Dumas and Tricia Skye at the pay-per-view. Back and forth match. Eventually, Lizzie hits a big, sort of moonsault to the outside on Tricia. They start to brawl up the ramp in the ring. Lexi James hits Lyla Vivaz with a Lexi DDT, and the heels get the win here on Nitro, as Liz gets a 70. Perfectly solid match here. Lyla Vivaz gets a 50. Roni Jonah gets a 47. Tricia Skye gets a 69. Desiree gets a 56. Lexi gets a 58. Lizzie Dumas gets a 67. Little boring, but everyone's right on storytelling, so it is what it is. And, post-match, the officials break up Tricia and Lizzie, and the heels celebrate as the youngsters put over the big steel cage match at the pay-per-view. 61. And then we cut backstage for a quick segment as we see various W officials, Terry Taylor, Arn Anderson, referees, and Eric Bischoff finding Maverick Chance wiped out in the back, with lead pipes and various other backstage implements, on top of him as they help him up, and he says he didn't see who come. They knocked him out of nowhere. As this gets to 68, and I guess we have a little bit of mystery on our hands. Who attacked Maverick Chance? And then, okay, yeah, that's why I rated this way. Okay, so, we have an in-ring, good old Jim Ross calling out both the challengers, Simply Johnny Devine and Jeff Jarrett, chosen few, and the champions Booker T and Shelton Benjamin down the ring for a contract signing for the tag team championship. Booker T takes the mic and says, Jeff, we've crossed more paths than I can count. We are both at the top as multi-time world title champions, but you have to remember, along with being a six-time world champion, I've also been a 10-time WCW World Tag Team Champions. And now, this is number 11. And with Shelton by my side, the best young talent in the business, we ain't planning on stopping anytime soon. Because together, we proved everybody wrong, month after month, we keep these titles, after they thought it was all just a lucky break at Starrcade for us. So Secca, how are you going to stop us? And Jarrett's like, look, Booker, yes, we've been able to survive the good times, the bad times, the weird times of this company. But the past is where all that belongs. I'm looking to the future right now with Johnny Devine. I've taken him under my wing, and together, we're going to end your little fairy tale run at Sacrifice. Your time is up, Slapnuts. Because you see, we are the chosen few. I molded Devine from somebody who was wrestling in nowhere to have the purposes of being a tag team champion, and it's all due to me and my backing. So you think your little wrestler in his tights and his background doing NCAAs matters? No. This man, Simply Johnny Devine, is the future, and that's the damn truth. And Shelton says, Jeff, Johnny, you want to talk a big game? At Starrcade, we shocked the world, and we can shock the world again. We battle the best, and we come out on top every time now. Sacrifice won't be any damn different. Booker T follows up, says, this right here is about proving who's the best in the tag team division. I'm the present, Shelton's the future, and Jeff, you never were the present without your buddies around. Together, we've beaten the odds, and we're not allowed to show you guys chosen few to us. Can you dig that, Secca? And Jarrett gets up and says, I've heard enough. At Sacrifice, the chosen few will become the new WCW World Tag Team Champions. It's written down in pen, and there's nothing you two can do about it. And there's a stare down as Jim Ross keeps him down, and says, it's a battle of the present and the future against each other, and only one team can walk out as your next, as WCW World Tag Team Champions. 99, good stuff, because Jarrett and Booker, despite taking time decline, and Jarrett sort of being sort of stuck in the shuffle, are still really freaking good. And that's why I basically made up that segment. Like, there wasn't really a reason for them to do with contract signing. It's not like any other tag team title match as a contract signing, but hey, promo time. So next up, we have Raven taking on Blaster Lashley in a preview of the big tag team match at Sacrifice. And as you can imagine, this is just a wild brawl. Lashley throws around Raven, but Raven eventually uses some plunder to gain the advantage. And eventually, both Cesaro and the Prophet, comes in, gets involved. But Raven is able to hit Lashley with an even flow DDT on a steel chair and pick up the pinfall victory in a little under 6 minutes. This gets a 70. Raven gets 78. Blaster Lashley gets a 39. And post-match, we have a big old brawl, including Ric Flair getting involved and trying to hit chops on Raven and Prophet before W officials break things up. And the announcers put over it's going to be a wild tag team fight at Sacrifice, as this gets a 53. What I expect, ready on fighting. And then we cut backstage, where AJ Styles is with Chris Harrison and James Storm and Remember Most Wanted. And, they talk about, being proud of where they're from, being proud of being former tag team champions and the current world champion. Starks being phenomenal, and he will still be your WCW world champion after Sacrifice, no matter what Wright, Yang, and Kaz try tonight. Because it doesn't matter how strong they think they are. James says, we're stronger than that. And if you think you're going to kick our ass, together, sorry about your damn luck. So there you go, 84. Unfortunately, AEW still have a little bit to do as far as promo work. And then we cut backstage where Lizzie Dumas is with her, backup in Captication. And she says, she's basically being, has a camera in front of her and says, tonight, Tricia, that was just a little taste, a tiny little preview of what's going to happen to you when I step in that steel cage. That was nothing compared to what I'm prepared to unleash. You see, I'm sick and damn tired of being forgotten, looked over, and looked beyond. Already, everybody talking about the new generation of women coming up. And Tricia, you've been walking around here acting like you own the place, like you're the queen of the women's division, like you're the only one who matters. But the truth is, I'm the one who brought women's wrestling back to the forefront. I made it in Raw against a certain wrestling owner's daughter, and I dragged her to a match to make people think she actually had any talent. I'm the one who's been setting the standard, raising the bar, and at Sacrifice, I'm going to prove it once and for all. So Tricia, you've done well. You won the women's world title and all that. But Captivation is a new face of the division, and I am its leader. You think tapping into the cage will be a way to shut me up and stop and reclaim your glory? Think again. There are no rules, there is no escape, there's no mercy. There's just 15-foot of steel cage, a ref, and us. When that door locks behind us, I'm going to show you a side of me you've never seen before. I will stop at nothing to make sure you understand who really runs this division. When I walk out of steel cage, Tricia, there'll be no more denying it. I will be the woman everyone talks about, the one who single-handedly redefines what it means to be a female wrestler in WCW. It'll be undeniable. It'll be simply captivating. So 72, decent promo, sort of slings up for the big steel cage match at Sacrifice. And then we have our 6-man match as we have London, Truth and Anderson taking on Tomko, Toland, and Roberts. And this is basically just like, your very typical, preview match for a pay-per-view. Everybody gets their spots in. London and Truth actually work well together, even though there's a little bit of tension as referees put over the triple threat match. But in the end, things break down. Anderson is able to get Roberts in the middle of the ring, hits, the Green Blade Plunge, gets the pinfall victory, and, the big win here on Nitro, 6 days before Sacrifice, as it gets an 83. Not surprised, the one guy who doesn't have a feud takes the, to his JOB, as Anderson gets an 86, Truth gets an 80, London gets a 93, Roberts gets a 54, Toland gets a 67, Tomko gets a 62. But after the match is more interesting, as Anderson is celebrating, Toland runs in with the strap and begins beating down. But eventually, London and Truth, after recovering, come in and go after Toland and, send him away. But then Titus Tomko runs in, hits them both from behind, big boot on Truth, powerbomb on London, and Tomko holds up the US title to end the segment to an 83. As the announcers put over, if that happens at Sacrifice, we're going to have a shocking new United States champion. Good stuff, gets an 83. And then we have a Revolution recap focusing on Kurt Angle hitting, the toilet spikes with a milk truck. 74. And then we have our main event. Yep, okay. I mean, I was expecting a really good match. Not quite this good. But hey, these 6 guys, 2006, all really good. And these are guys, version where they've actually been pushed well. So there you go. Yeah, this is just awesome. Like putting over both the big tag match, the world title match, back and forth, like, all the great spots you'd imagine. Again, it's a Germany and Japanese people teaming up to face Americans. I'm sure there's maybe a little bit some USA chance, and maybe Jim Ross throwing in a Matahari or Gypsy Rose reference. But like, we're not making it like obvious, like, we're not waving a Japanese flag, nothing too wacky like that. No Pearl Harbor jokes, yeah. We're in 2006, not 1986. But anyway, back and forth match, Kaz hits his kick of doom, but AJ Styles makes a save. Styles hits a big, Pele dive. But eventually, the title belt gets dropped in the ring. Wright drops him with it, hits double arm DDT on the belt. The WCW belt is in the corner. The referee covers. 1 from being distracted by Stacy. 1, 2, 3. 684 sacrifice. Alex Wright pins the WCW World Heavyweight Champion here on Nitro. Aziz gets a 98. Storm gets an 80. Harris gets a 72. Styles gets a 94. Kaz gets a 98. Yang gets a 75. And Wright gets an 88. And post-match, Alex Wright holds up the world title and then throws it down on Styles during the show. Aziz gets a 72. And overall, this show gets us a 94. So really good show. And I'll be back in just a moment because, well, I'll explain it in a moment. All right, welcome back. So yeah. Okay, DJ. It's weird. Noah. Yeah. Okay. Oh man, CML Dojo. Interesting. Wait, is CML like? I forget. Oh right. Okay. The honest problem is this game does not get how luchador pay works, i.e. it sucks. So yeah, I might, I'll see where they are after this month, and I'll throw them maybe some money. Because, yeah, I mean, I'm fine keeping them in business, because it makes sense, like, CML should be doing business. What I might do is I might go through and, make them get rid of their more expensive contracts, or convert those contracts over to, pay-per appearance or something. I don't know. Because, yeah, it makes no sense that, they're making money while they have, $4 million. I mean, is it the pay-per-view revenue thing? I don't think it is. Hold on. See, now I'm distracted. No, they're going to pay for not good pay-per-view revenue. I'll have to dig more into that to see what the problem is here. Sorry. I got totally distracted by that. Anyway, news-wise. Oops. So, yeah, spoilers. So, as a tradition, I'm taking over WTV for the last 2 weeks of the paper for the cycle before WrestleMania. Sort of set up the things that make sense as far as booking. But anyway, Kurt Angle thinks Lizzie Dumas is too small. Okay. And injury-wise, Maverick Chance is okay. He basically got hit. So basically, he just took a too hard bump on a plancha. Okay. Anyway, so to sort of do with that, so Raw only got a 79. Now you're thinking, Jesse, you're trying to screw them over. And no, I'm not. I just completely forgot you need to do multiple segments to get an angle actually started enough that the game will realize it's an angle to count. So okay, so because in game Jericho won the Royal Rumble, I'm setting him up versus Michaels as your main event, as he's the world champion with the heel DX. And the problem is I only did 2 segments together, so I just need to do, or I think actually they were okay. I just didn't do another segments. So there's a quick look over what I'm setting up here. So we had HBO Jericho Big Show. Remember, in game Jericho used to lead a stable with the Big Show and TNA, and then the actual game actually turned Jericho face. So then I had said in game that they turned on him. So we're setting up Jericho versus Big Show. We had TNA showing up to APA's office, and APA in this version of reality also includes Rick Steiner for one more tag title match. Then we had Capitol and Shark Boy defeating the Outcasts in my try to get people on over people. Rhino's still insanely good. Dreamer's Rhino and Dreamer are still insanely good and over. So I put Captain Shark Boy over them in a 65. Then I had Sheriff Steve Austin, because that's the time it would make sense. I have a DDP Stevie Richards number 1 contender match, add to the number 1 contender match. Then I had a random women's match involving Beth Wemix, Chantel Taylor, Amber O'Neal, and Christy Ritchie, aka Chrissy Cummings, Amber James, Chantel Fierce, and Beth Phoenix. Then there's a woman fight, and then Sheriff Steve made a Playboy Battle Royal for the pay-per-view because it's 2006, and yeah. Then we had the Juices lose with Val Venus, so basically an in-ring segment where Juvie Juice, aka Juvie Guerrero, interviews Val Venus about the IC title match. Then I had Carlito doesn't think Crash Holly is cool, and then Carlito defeating Crash Holly. Unfortunately, I didn't realize they had faced off like multiple times before. But DDP defeats Steve Richards in a bad match because DDP is old and can't work more than like a 8-minute match, which is something I have to think about. And then DDP helps Stevie up because they used to be teaming for the last few months. And then Diamond Cutter. So DDP turns heel. So there's an even amount of faces and heels in the 4-way I'm setting up. And then we had the history of the Gals and Bruiser with Vampiro, basically setting up the Batista versus Vampiro match. Because again, if people don't remember, I had a heel stable of Vampiro, Batista as Leviathan, his OVW character, and Kane. They were a top heel group until the game turned everybody face. And so now this is a showdown between these two for WrestleMania. And then we had APA defeating TNA to retain the World Tag Titles, and then Test and Albert argued. And then I had Jericho defeat Big Show. And then we had a DX 2.0 beatdown, which is, of course, Michaels, CM Punk, and Air Paris, aka Skyfall Camp Lions, until Streets of the Suburbs, which is the team of Homicide and Brian Kendrick, aka Carnival, and Leonardo Michael Murray, make the save. So there we go. That got a 96, and a show overall got a 79. So I can't be that upset, because I'm pushing things, and I'll just have to remember to do multiple segments when I book SmackDown. But that's it for now. That's it for that part. I won't go that in-depth with most of the SmackDown booking or anything else. I just wanted to show you guys what I've been doing there. But anyway, that's where we are, so I'll be back in just a second. Well, for you guys, it'll be a second. For me, it'll be a little bit of time for Revolution. All right, welcome everybody to Revolution live from Greenville, North Carolina. And the show opens with Shane Helms coming out and basically, coming out to the ring. And actually get some cheers because we're in North Carolina, which is sort of near his home, whole Omega thing, the Hardys, him. Oh God, what's the other guy? Shannon Moore. But he comes to the ring and says, last week, I earned my shot to take back the United States title and prove that I'm the greatest United States champion of all time. And after tonight, nobody will be able to deny that. But I don't want that match later tonight. Paul London, I want you to come out right now so I have all damn night to celebrate becoming the new United States champion and proving, once again, that nobody in WCW management, none of you out there in the crowd, or any wrestler can stop me from rising to the top and proving I am simply legendary. And after a moment, Paul London comes out, basically gets on the ring with the referee, and the bell rings, and the match is on. So, pretty typical, heel promo from Helms, and the match is on, and then the actual match happens, and these are going to be kind of disappointing, or like a 94. Oof. Okay, yeah. We got the psych penalty, which I'm not, let me see here. I guess because it went 15 minutes. Okay, yeah, so they slow work the match, which, okay, they don't quite have the psych, which I'm kind of surprised by. Let me see here. Okay, lack psychology, dinged. Okay. So that's unfortunate. So basically, maybe, yeah, because like Helm got a 96, London got a friggin' 98. So they have great chemistry, but they got dinged, and also we got a bad announcing, bad color commentary. So I'm guessing happened here is Figueroa and Schiavone like messed up some move names, and Randy Savage was basically, I don't say subtly bury him or like saying he could take him or something like that. But anyway, really good match. Like in ring, like in like 10 years, like this will be a match on like Reddit where people point to it like on the WCW network saying, this is an underrated match. Like it's really great. It's a little, some spots, but also that's the era of 2016, Young Bucks, so nobody cares about psychology anymore. I'm joking, folks. I'm joking. Don't cancel me. But yeah, fun little match. But in the end, Paul London actually does get the win still. Like Helms hits a super kick. He hits the, hits the Nightmare on Helm Street. He even goes to the Vertebreaker, but London gets out of it. Able to hit the big cutter, go up top. London calling 1, 2, 3. And Paul London is still your United States champion. That means he will go into Sacrifice against Titus Tomko and R-Truth defending the title. This gets an 82, like I said, so it's still not a good bad match. And post-match, London celebrates to the cheers of the crowd, and this gets a 68. And then we cut backstage where Monty Brown is on his own, and, well, that's a really good promo. And he says, all this week, people asking me, why did Monty Brown, the king of Serengeti, the man who dominates everybody he puts in front of him, went after Mesias? Because, you want to know why? Because every damn week, everywhere I go around, people are telling me about this monster Mesias. He can chokeslam everybody. He can destroy anybody. But here's the thing. I'm the baddest man on the planet. I'm the baddest man in WCW. So, just like in jail, just like out there in the streets, if you want to take somebody out, you go after the strongest man to prove himself. And Mesias, you're supposed to be a strong man. That's why I hit you with the pounce. And if you get that in the ring with me again, I'll pounce you again and show that I'm the baddest man in WCW and nobody can stop me. So, just your basic promo, setting up the Monty Mesias feud, and gets a freaking 99 because Monty's really good. And I think, had this go 6 minutes, so there we go. And then we have our tag team match, which was set up tonight, or the last couple weeks. Of course, last week, Gail Kim got the win over Angel Foxx after basically, telling Alli Danger not to get involved. And this is a back and forth match, and basically Gail Kim's in the match all by herself from the start. And, it looks like Natty and Angel actually hitting some, couple big moves in a row. And when she goes, Gail Kim actually making a bit of a comeback, hits a big Rana, and she goes to tag in Alli Danger, and Alli Danger drops from the ring apron, stepping back. Gail Kim's shocked, and she turns around. Angel snap from Gail Kim, and Angel Foxx and Nattie Neidhart get the win here on Revolution. As us gets a 70, only goes 7 minutes. Alli gets a 58, Gail Kim gets an 87, Natty gets a 49, Angel Foxx gets a 76. And, the Bay Faces get the win and leave. And, Gail Kim is on the mat down. And as she, is actually about to recover, Alli Danger slides in with her kendo stick and beats the crap out of Gail Kim. Crowd's shocked. And, why has Alli Danger turned her back on her supposed mentor? We'll just have to find out later on. As it gets a 61, and there we go. I wish I had sort of built this up better, but them not having the best of luck, Gail Kim getting pinned. I hope that sort of has been was sort of set up enough for people. If not, it is what it is. And then we cut backstage where Paul Heyman is with Rob Van Dam, and he says, "Tonight, my client, the number one wrestler in the world, Mr. Wednesday Night, the undisputed number one contender to the World Heavyweight Champion, whoever it is after Sacrifice, is competing tonight against Kanyon Sean O'Haire." And I looked around the Revolution locker room, and I thought about all the men who could be by his side. But some of them were busy, some of them have other affairs to go after. So I thought, why not give a possible future star a chance to main event tonight and learn from Rob Van Dam. And then in walks Ray Leppan, and Heyman says, this man, Ray Leppan, has been forgotten about, has not given the opportunities he deserves. So tonight, along with my client, Rob Van Dam, they'll get in the ring, and Ray, you get a shot to show everybody why you deserve to be at the top of the WCW ladder. Leppan says, yes, that's right. I'm the biggest international star in WCW. No matter what other people say, no matter what other people claim, I am that guy. And tonight, in the ring, Kanyon Sean O'Haire, I will show you that my talent will not be denied. There we go. We got Leppan and RVD later tonight against Kanyon and O'Haire. And then we cut backstage, and Keith Walker and Johnny Swinger are fighting again. Of course, a couple weeks ago, they were in that triple threat match, which Sonny Siaki won, and they fought last week, and it seems they're fighting again. This gets a 42. And then we cut backstage, where Amy Weber is with Sonny Siaki, and she asks him about being in line for a TV title shot, and Siaki says, Sonny Siaki is not just the number one contender for the television title. Sonny Siaki is a man who will become the next television champion, because Matt Sydal, you've never faced a man like Sonny Siaki. You never faced a man who looks as good, who has the skill and the talent. So next week on Revolution, you will step in the ring with Sonny Siaki, and you will walk out, no longer the television champion, as will be around Sonny Siaki's waist. And there's nothing you can do about that. Again, cocky heel promo, 70, not bad, building things up for next week. And okay, let's see here. Yeah, Jade. Oh, right. I keep on forgetting Romy and Ross here, not a good awkward pairing. So, of course, last week, Gym Tan Wrestling, basically challenged Jet Set to a match. And pretty good match, back and forth. Jet Set is doing Jet Set stuff, flying around. Romy and Rossi try to, fight back, get a little bit of a, comeback. Eventually, the ref gets distracted. There's some shenanigans. Cookie tries to point out to the ref, but in the end, the heels cheat, and Cash gets a win over Romy and Rossi in a little under 8 minutes. Just your little heel win. Jim Can Wrestling can take the job. As gets a 73, Rossi gets a 54, Santorelli gets a 51, Cash gets a 73, Jet gets a 61 to his injury, and then Jet Set get another win here on Revolution. Post-match, the heels celebrate to the boos of the crowd as this gets a 66. Moving forward, we have another big in-ring segment as the Thrillers come down the ringside, being in WCW ring for the first time in a couple weeks, and they are upset. And, Palmer takes Mike, says, "Why, Kurt Angle, you just make the biggest damn mistake of your life. Because you see, you didn't get involved in the ring. You didn't get involved fighting us. You went after our property. After what we fought and earned by beating up everybody in this ring night after night, week after week. So why do you think you have the right to take out our property, destroy our bikes, and make us have to pay make us responsible for the other bikes that you destroyed that weren't even ours? You think you're a hero, Kurt Angle? You think you're a menace? No, you're just a menace to righteous men like us who deserve to be at the top of Revolution." Cute, Angle's music hits, comes to the door, says, there's an adage in life. You don't get pissed, you get even. And you were right last week. I was too pissed. But I got in control of myself. Remember, it's damn true that I'm Kurt freaking Angle, and I'm the best wrestler in the world, but also I can do just more things than wrestle. So I went back to my roots of what I did up north, and I got a little birdie told me where your little bike car was, and I showed up with a milk truck. And yeah, I took out your bikes, I took out your buddies' bikes, and maybe I took out some other random bikes. But I remind you that you do not mess with Kurt Angle, Palumbo. You do not mess with Kurt Angle, Jindrak, and you do not mess with Kurt Angle, even you, Raven Rain. So if anyone of you want to get in this ring and try to take me out, you do your damnness. But I'm an Olympic gold medalist, I'm a multi-time world champion, and I'm just better than you. It's true. It's damn true. And, we get a showdown, and this gets 100 as the feud continues. Good stuff. And then we cut backstage where Kanyon and Sean O'Haire are backstage. And, basically, Kanyon walks into O'Haire's locker room and he says, "Look, I understand if you're pissed at me, but we got to work together. Look, none of us like Rob Van Dam, and we just got in there, work together tonight, and then we'll go on and do our own thing. Okay, man?" O'Haire's like, "Look, I got respect for you, Kanyon, and yeah, I like you a lot better than Van Dam, but we're not friends. We're just partners for tonight, and we're both focused on the same thing, and that's earning another shot at the World Championship. That means we'll work together, but I'm still the future shock of this business." Kanyon nods and says, "Look, man, we'll go out there, and we'll kick ass tonight, and then we'll go on our separate ways, okay?" He puts out a handshake, O'Haire shakes it, and it looks like they'll work together, at least for tonight. As this gets a 98. And then we get to backstage. We fall from that, and the camera notices Kidman walking, like Shane Helms pissed backstage. And then all of a sudden, we see Billy Kidman walk up to him, say something in his ear. Helms nods, and they walk away together. Which gets 69, because, well, it's a 2-minute segment based on acting. So there you go. And forward to our semi-main event, which is Keenan Sharpe taking on Chavo Guerrero Jr. And yeah, this isn't quite a squash, because Chavo still gets his spots in. He is able to 3 amigos, but he goes for the frog splash. Sharpe gets his knees up and just kicks the crap out of Chavo, and eventually gets a clean submission win right in the middle of the ring, as Chavo has to tap out after a little under 9 minutes. But perfectly solid match, as Sharpe gets an 86, Chavo gets a 68, and then, yeah, I know. And then, Sharpe takes the mic and says, Jack Evans, you are a sad case. A thrill seeker. A man who has such little inner peace that he, as a daredevil, continually hurting himself both your mind, your body, and your spirit. You're the one who has to follow the path. You don't lead down the path of other thrill seekers, such as Jeff Hardy, who has fallen off the way he has. So I'm willing to let bygones be bygones if, Jack, you're willing to walk the path. And go away from all your distractions, all the possible sins you may commit, and follow me. Or else. 85, good heel promo, continuing, the new feud between Evans set up last week because of the 4-way, and, Evans making fun of him, and there we go, 85, good stuff. And then we have basically backstage achievement as Jet Set are backstage and the Hardys confront them. Basically, saying, why'd you, cheat like that? Are you guys so bad that you can't even get a clean win over, tough young wrestlers like Gym Tan Wrestling? And Jason says, no, we could beat them, but here's the thing, it would take a little longer, and time is money, and we're worried about money. And if you want to get away, we'll kick your ass again, because remember, we already beat you before, and we'll beat you again. Because Hardys, your time is up. It's a time for teams like the Jet Set, not has-beens like you. 82, it seems this feud must continue. And then we have a Nitro recap, which is of course the big 6-man main event where Alex Wright got the pinfall over AJ Styles with help of a double arm DDT on the title belt. Then we have our main event, which is not as well. So okay, again, I always probably overthink this. So 8 over, 1 over, 7 over. So actually, this is pretty much what so we actually weren't doing that much for the announcing color commentary. Again, I wish there was better announcers or color commentators out there, but there just isn't. Even a WWE in-game has Michael Cole and Kevin Kelly and Kevin Kelly and Jim Cornette and Michael Cole and Taz, which isn't actually that bad, but still. Anyway, pretty simple, back and forth tag match. Van Dam looks good, hit the spots in. Kanyon O'Haire work together well, at least at the beginning. Leppan comes in, hits a few power spots, and looks impressive. But eventually things break down, and Kanyon actually comes in, trying to make the save, but he and O'Haire run into each other. But Kanyon recovers first, but hits a dive out on our Van Dam. O'Haire gets up, is hit by a big spear by Leppan, and he uses the ropes as leverage, and actually gets a pinfall over Sean O'Haire for the match. As it gets an 87, O'Haire gets an 82, Kanyon gets a 93, Leppan gets an 80, and Van Dam gets a 95. Heels win, and they leave the ring. And, Kanyon gets up and tries to help O'Haire up. O'Haire pushes him away. And then Kanyon sort of just, shrugs after a moment, turns O'Haire around. Boom, Kanyon cutter. 84 to end the show, as it was only 4 minutes. As, Kanyon gets a bit of a revenge. Well, not revenge, but sort of sends a statement to O'Haire that he's not going to, allow O'Haire to just push him around. And overall, this gets us to 91, so good stuff. And I'll be back in just a moment. Well, a moment for you, at least. Okay, we're back. And yeah, Chavo's injured. I'll check that in a minute. But Shane Helms, Slingshot and Swingers Charisma. I mean, he's still working on 2023 or 24, I guess. So there is that. Journeyman's contract is ending, and we're probably not bringing him back. He wasn't that good anymore. He never really got over. He worked well as sort of a jobber to the stars for our cruiserweights. But yeah, he's probably just gone. We'll see if he. I mean, I might force him to get signed by Impact if Impact itself doesn't sign him up. But yeah. So also the Outlaws. Okay, Outlaws, Vic Grimes, Ernest Star. Okay, sure. So if we go to the WWE, and so again, remember I'm booking WWE for these last 2 weeks leading up to Mania. So that's why things look a little more familiar. So anyway, we have Mick Foley doing a promo setting up an Asylum match with Justice, which got 100 because it's Mick Foley. So the game turned Foley heel in between when he teamed with Justice for, I think, Mania or SummerSlam, because he was randomly heel leading a Survivor Series team. So this is just basically him, his sort of quasi-heel shtick when he was in ECW, only to he's the real king of hardcore. And this sort of goes with Taker turning heel. They're just old bastard legends wanting to make sure, the Young Bucks don't get over. Not those Young Bucks, just Young Bucks in general. Then we had Angel Obscura taking on Jackie Gate, Veronica Vane, and Snuka in a 4-way. Angel Obscura gets the win and earns the WrestleMania title shot. Good stuff. Then we have a stare down with Ivory, who's sort of the veteran face title holder. Jackie Gator was not happy about doing a job, but, I don't care. And then we had Kane winning a squash over Andy Douglas. Then Undertaker attacked Kane, dragged him away. Remember, Taker's heel. So there we go. Then we had an APA special announcement that announced that on Raw, there will be an open challenge tag team battle royal, and whoever wins that will get the title shot at WrestleMania. Then we had a Gladiator in ring calling out Brock again, saying, he took him out, and he was so sad about, he was so upset about the Gladiator showing up and kicking his ass that he will not dare to show up at WrestleMania to face the Gladiator. Reality, Brock got injured in a tag match with Gladiator setting that up. Then he, killed Nick Dinsmore, and then we had Justice going after Foley, basically in the back, saying, basically agreeing to the match and building up that feud. Then we had Tricia Skye defeating Basher and Chains in basically a squash. And then, we had Vince show up and basically, say, he liked the ruthless aggression that Tricia Skye had showing up to Raw, even though it wasn't their show. But, as the chairman of the WWE, he has to keep things in control of his shows. So he needs to, punish Tricia Skye. But then Sheriff Steve Austin shows up, and he says, well, come on, Vince. You just thought, these men, Carnival, what? You don't have to worry. What? Showed some grapefruits. What? So why don't we give them a chance to show just how great SmackDown is? And, Vince is like, what do you mean? Okay. And, Steve Austin's like, well, what I'm seeing is these guys, and he points to yourself, don't have a match. What? And neither do Punk and Leon for DX. What? And they're both on Raw. What? And SmackDown. What? So why don't we have a brand Supremacy match? And Vince is like, okay, but what, basically what's on the line? And how, and basically, Steve's like, well, how about this? You ain't getting involved over in Raw way too much. And Vince's like, it's my damn show. And, Steve's like, okay, fine. If Punk and Lion win, you get to be the man you are in charge of everything. But if Tricia Skye win, you can still be chairman, but there will be new commissioners of Raw and SmackDown that you cannot overrule. Vince McMahon then agrees, and the match is on for WrestleMania. So basically, just a way to have them on against the other, even though they're on two different shows. Then we had Billy Gunn and Val Venus go to no contest with Scott Steiner and Rikishi. And then Christian came out to join the fight. It's badly rated because all these guys are old. Then we had a segment where The Undertaker was at a grave site, and he literally buried Kane a lot. Like just had a backhoe, drop dirt onto Kane as he was in a grave. Basically saying, he's rest in peace, and he is finally getting rid of his dumb little R word we don't use anymore of a brother. 97. Then we've been walking into a count with William Regal. I forgot to add a storyline to this. And then afterwards, Edge returned after being gone since dropping the title. In canon, we're saying he was injured, so that's why he was gone, and his contract ran out. In reality, he signed with New Japan, but I decided that didn't make sense, so I forced him out of his New Japan contract, and I haven't re-signed with WWE. Anyway, Edge returns, basically set up a three-way match with Mania, saying he was gone, and he's, upset he wasn't back for the Royal Rumble. But right now, he is a free agent, and he's on SmackDown because he knows Benoit and Regal are two of the best. He's two of the best technical wrestlers on the W Universe. So at WrestleMania, he wants a damn great match and challenges them both. And then, that sort of is the end of the show. But then we get one last minute as we go back to the gravesite and sort of horror movie style. We see Kane's hand goes up to the dirt. Showing that he's still alive. I think that's an 86, which just shows, I just forgot to, book the storylines correctly. So, there we go. Otherwise, Impact also had a big pay-per-view. Where are you guys? So, also Brian Clark left because he got signed by New Japan, which is weird, but hey, what can you do? Anyway, so they had Destination X, and they had Roadkill defeat Alexander Anderson, who's a regen. Then we had Hulk Hogan calling out Triple H, which got a 68. We had CJ Lane defeat Trinity McRae in a women's match. We had Fabio Patch defeat Serena Deeb in a women's match. Menage's Monsters, which is Heindrich and Ian Harrison, defeat Albright and Sparrow. I mean, that is the booking that would happen in 2006. Where Claudia de Souls retained the Impact Divas title over Cindy Rogers. I might go ahead and change that to knockouts, just because. Then we had the Hulkamaniacs of Shiver, Amazing Red, and Jesus Castle Jr. defeat The Miz, El Candor, and Samson. Sure. Then we had Marcus Miltech defeat Jason Vex for the Impact X title. You know, this guy is the guy you think of X-Champion. But he's not, he's actually not a bad worker. It's just funny, because he's he's a flabby light heavyweight. He looks like, stuff, you know. Then we had the Architects of Paul Levesque and Apollo defeat Chronic for the Impact World Tag titles, basically because Chronic is leaving. And I'll probably, because what I'm planning is for the next month for me to take over the game again, the booking for Impact. So I'll fix this. Well, not fix it, but we'll shift it so that, basically free work rule. But then I'm actually stunned that it took Hulk Hogan this long to do this. Hulk Hogan defeated Lex Luger for the Impact World title in a 37, because it's Hulk Hogan and Lex Luger in 2006. Neither of them can move. Hogan at least got a 44. But yeah, actually not a terrible show, 49. They still increased popularity most places. They got 32,000 viewers for a buy rate. So yeah. But yeah, I'll take them over next month. But yeah, fun stuff. Let's see here. Then we have, of course, HWA. Hold on. Right, okay, from Classic Bound. So they're officially now a better sports entertainment fed. Let's see here. Nothing really much of note. I'll double check these boards, see if anybody deserves to go up to OVW. Then OVW itself had, let's see here, any weird matches? Not really. Jake Christ is there. Evelyn Chambers is still there. Lacey Borden's around. Danny Doring defeat John Morrison. And yeah, I mean, Doring's ready to go up to the main roster, probably. Same with Joey Ryan, but here's the thing. I'm going to be nice to WWE and think that even they wouldn't bring up Joey Ryan at this time, because he's Joey Ryan. Let's see here. Chris Rambola, who of course used to be our Spring Break Bash guy, is also in OVW. And yeah, so not much going on there. If we go to our Dev Fed, we had a Wildside TV show, which had Matt Morgan defeat Kurt Stallings in a battle of two guys who aren't ready for the main roster yet. We had Onyx killing TJ Perkins. Ryan Drago and Joe Suzuki defeat Rick Michaels, Trey, and Danielson. So yeah. Interesting stuff there. Then we had Lazarus and Jason Cross defeat John Phoenix and Mikey Nichols. Yeah, Mikey Nichols is randomly here when he's when he's 20, so, and he's more over than he should be, but he's one half of the tag champions. I don't know, it's weird. Then we had a weekly house show, where we had Lazarus defeat Ray Gordy for the NWA heavyweight title, Jonsuke retained the tag titles, and yeah, some other wacky stuff. Ryan Drago is still your Georgia Junior heavyweight champion, and it is what it is. Then we go to the women. So we had Ashley Lane, Amy Sakura, and Tracy Steeler defeat Net Planter against the Eagles of Amazing Kong. Solid stuff, like Amazing Kong, Okay, again, honest stuff. I'm sure people figured out the whole Jungle Beat was a build-up for Kong, but I sort of realized, I didn't have the right, time for her to be built up and have time on the main show, so that sort of cut off for now, In 10 years, in a shoot interview, she'll talk about how she was being told she was going to be brought up, and then it was stopped after a couple weeks. Michelle Madison and Claire retained the tag titles, beating Carla Chambers and the future Trinisa Biggers. Yeah. Madden's doing decent, but the problem is, she's not that over. She's not that good. She's decent, but she's not, main roster worthy. And then Lee Osaka retained the AWQ title. Good stuff. Oops, and that was some spoilers, possibly. So yeah. Then if we look around the rest of the wrestling world, Henry's fully fit, so good for him. If we go back to the last, let's see here. Oh right, I forgot that happened. So AAA actually had a very big show, having Rate of Raise. So, the Rate of Raise tournament actually had, let's see here. Yeah, we had El Connect defeat Black Tiger 3, aka Silver King, in a 77. Cyber Eagle defeat Felino in a 93. We had Volador Jr. defeat Hector Garza in a 92. We had Vampire Warrior defeat Joe Leiter in a 69. Yeah, Gangrel's still here, and he's like still fairly over, which is funny. Then we had, let's see here, Lawler Jr. defeated Vampire Warrior in a 78 in the semifinal. Samareko defeated Alkanek in an 83 in the other semifinal. Kanek's, I think, like 50-something. Yeah, he's 53, but he's still super over, so, you know. We had Halloween Psychosis defeat Brute Force, a.k.a. Kuvar and Oz, for the tag titles. Then we had in the semifinal, Blue Demon Jr. retained the basically the main title over El Zorro and La Parka 2 in an 87. And then the main event, Samareko defeated Valor Jr. for the Ray to Race title in a 94. Good stuff for them. Let's see here. Chick Fight had another show, 1,300 people. Lexi Fight is main eventing. Again, this is downside when we have an actual active women's scene. In WCW with an actual women's seat is knowing the wrestlers are left. Let's see here. Gay had a big show. Usual people on top. Carrito still the champion. Stampede had a big show. Kevin Steen defeated Alex Rain. Steen's doing well in Canada. And I think that's it. Let's see here. Yeah, nothing really much of note. So that is it. So again, as one last check-in, are matches for WCW Sacrifice are AJ Styles versus Alex Wright for the World Championship, Booker Shelton versus Jarrett and Divine for the tag titles, Nia Colt versus Joni Lawler for the women's title, Tricia Skye versus Lizzie Dumas in a cage match, Truth versus London versus Tomko in a US title match, Ray Jr. versus Jamie Noble, Raven Prophet of the Nest versus Evolution, KO versus AMW, Kanyon versus Tank Toland in a strap match, Brother Ray versus Eddy Guerrero in a Chicago Death match, and I feel like there's one more other match that I completely forgot about pre-booking. Tricia, Titus, Ray. I'm sure I'll like stop talking and totally remember in 2 seconds, but regardless, a pretty big show. Pretty fun booking, but that's for now. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and like, comment below what you're liking, not liking, and subscribe to our channel for plenty of other TEW 2020 content, and hopefully some other stuff that might pop up. But that's for now, so talk later, and adios. Have a good one.